Hi, it's Simon here. You're watching iJumpTV. Thanks for watching. Work. How's your work going? So it's something that most people have to do. Up until recently, it's been seen as a bit of a necessary evil. There is a kind of a move afoot, depending on which generation you're in, to make work more meaningful. I've met a lot of people who have walked away from high-paying jobs just for some meaning, just for some sense of doing good in the world and not doing harm. And so work is becoming a bit of a battlefield, I guess, a battlefield of ideas between the old ideal used to be, you work to get money so you can do what you really want to do. But as we know, Gen Ys, that's not going to work for them. Pardon the pun. They're actually going to have to make money doing stuff that they love. That's okay if they're an entrepreneur. They can actually make it up as they go along. You're looking at one now. But what about a larger organisation? Or what about an entrepreneurial organisation where you've started it up, you're doing what you love, and yet you want to bring other people into it? But the only models available to you are those old models where people just work for money and do the jobs you don't want to do. That's a question that we at Sci actually try to answer, because it relates. How does it relate to social media? Well, it relates to the future. It relates to what's happening. The social changes, the context in which all this technological change is happening in. And so there's a lot of questions, and there are some answers. Some of the answers are in the book Equipped to Lead. My gosh, that's a lot of red. Equipped to Lead by Dan J. Sanders and Galen Walters. It's a book that's full of perhaps some common sense, but a lot of, well, it is a lot of common sense actually. It's stuff that if you put into practice in your personal life and you let that flow into your business life, it works. But the trouble is, culturally and the way that business has gone in the industrial age has been about the separation of work from life. And this is about bringing that together. It's about bringing humanity into the organisation, which is something that I'm pretty passionate about. So it's talking about how do you treat your staff as human beings with real needs? How do you treat your suppliers as human beings with real needs? How do you measure appropriately? It's a real overall book. It's pretty hard to put your finger on exactly what this book is about, but I guess if pressed, I'd have to say humanity. It's about humanity. And it is, what attracted me to this book was finding out what the authors had previously written, and that's Built to Serve. Because, there's a paradox in life, is that we want stuff, but the more we just want stuff, the less satisfied we are. But when we give ourselves to something, when we actually serve, when we actually realise that we're stewards of something, that we have something to offer, we actually get really, really satisfied, and we get stuff. The stuff that we wanted in the first place. The blessing of that is that it's actually good for us instead of just being something that owns us. Those things become an end to whatever we're serving. Starting to get a bit deep and philosophical here. It's really important. It's really important to have this sense of meaning and purpose and mission in your work. And it's a struggle, and I can say it's so easy to get caught up and focused on just trying to play the game right, that you forget what the game is for. And so Equipped to Lead, I really recommend as something to, especially if you're a leader of an organisation or if you lead people at all, especially if you own an organisation and you have the responsibility to turn it around. Equipped to Lead by Dan J. Sanders and Galen Walters. Highly recommended. You've been watching iJumpTV. I'm Simon. It's brought to you by Sci Social Media Consultancy. Find out what we do at sciengage.com and find out what's happening in social media at ijump.co.nz. Thanks, and see you later.
We got some difficult days ahead, but it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop, and I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land.